Well, it must be a very cold day in hell right now because the legacy media outlets are actually admitting the Dominion voting software can indeed be hacked. We're going to look at the latest bombshell AP report. We're going to see a very interesting connection between the report and the 2016 campaign. And make sure to stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll reveal the big takeaway in terms of what it all really means. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you, your Patriot Professor, helping you to think better so you can feel better in this crazy and turbulent world. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we begin, if you have an IRA, 401k, or savings account, you're going to love getting to know a Patriot group that has become good friends of this channel. Now, so we're all watching our retirement savings squandered with bumbling Biden's record inflation and reckless spending. Our amazing friends over at Goldco are here to help you find out how you can protect your retirement with the trustworthiness of gold and silver. And just to show you who these guys are and how awesome they are, click on that link below right now, and they're going to give you, I kid you not, up to $10,000 in free silver when you open up an account. You heard that right? $10K in free silver. But this is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com and see how awesome Goldco really is. All right, let's dive right in here, gang. Now, what do you know? With the midterm elections coming up and predictions that the Democrats are going to get utterly shellacked, right? They're going to get pummeled. They're going to get crushed. They're going to get shattered, as Steve Bannon likes to put it. With those midterms on the horizons, isn't it interesting that now so-called experts think there are problems with the voting machines? I mean, this is serious stuff. This is coming straight from the AP, gang. Yes, the very same source that's been telling us all now for over a year that our voting machines are the most impeccable, secure, flawless, unblemished, untarnished, totally incapable of ever in any way, shape, or form ever being manipulated. Yeah, that same AP is now telling us that, quote, experts are worried about the integrity of our voting software. Can't make it up, gang. From the AP, quote, electronic voting machines from a leading vendor used in at least 16 states have software vulnerabilities that leave them susceptible to hacking if unaddressed, the nation's leading cybersecurity agency says in an advisory sent to state election officials. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, or CISA, said there is no evidence the flaws in the Dominion voting systems equipment have been exploited to alter election results. So shut up, you conspiracy theorists. Don't think this vindicates you, you bunch of knuckle-dragging hicks. There is no evidence, absolutely none, not a zippo, that what you're worried about actually happened, so back off. The advisory is based on testing by a prominent computer scientist and expert witness in a long-running lawsuit that's unrelated to false allegations, preposterous, ludicrous, conspiratorial allegations of a stolen election pushed by former President Donald Trump after his 2020 election loss. The advisory obtained by the Associated Press in advance of its expected Friday release details 9 vulnerabilities. How do we even take these people seriously? I mean, really. 9 vulnerabilities and suggests protective measures to prevent or detect their exploitation, which, of course, has never, ever, ever, ever happened. Never, ever. But it could. Amid a swirl of misinformation, disinformation about elections, so where is Mary Poppins and the disinformation board when you need them? Amid a swirl of misinformation, disinformation about elections, CISA seems to be trying to walk a line between not alarming the public and yet stressing the need for election officials to take action. Now, this, for me, this is the best part here. You got to listen to this. Who does this sound like? You're gonna need to try to keep a straight face in all this, but think of who this sounds like. Ready? Quote, one of the most serious vulnerabilities could allow malicious code to be spread from the election management system to machines throughout a jurisdiction. The vulnerability could be exploited by someone with physical access or by someone who is able to remotely infect other systems that are connected to the internet if election workers then use USB sticks to bring data from an infected system into the election management system. I can't believe this guy. What a bunch of conspiracy kooks the AP has turned into. Several other particularly worrisome vulnerabilities could allow an attacker to forge cards using the machines by technicians, giving the attacker access to a machine that would allow the software to be changed. Attackers could then mark ballots inconsistently with voters' intent, alter recorded votes, or even identify voters' secret ballots. Who does this sound like? Who does this? Does it sound like a certain American pillow salesman? I mean, seriously, you can't make this stuff up. Now, we all know what they're doing, okay? They're trying to preempt the colossal defeat the Democrats are about to experience in the midterms, right? The internal polling that they have must be absolutely devastating. But as it turns out, that's just superficial. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It gets better. You're going to love this. Now, I know we're all a bunch of conspiracy kooks here, right? But get a load of this. Let's go back to 2016. You know, that horrible year when the evil Lord Vladimir stole our elections, robbing Lady Macbeth of her rightful coronation. Take a look at this. Do you remember this? University professor leads scientists urging Clinton campaign to file for recount in 3 states. Now, again, this is from 2016, and here's how the piece begins. Quote, J. Alex Halderman. Now, remember that name, gang. J. Alex Halderman, University of Michigan professor of electrical engineering and computer science, is currently leading a group of computer scientists and election lawyers from around the country who are urging 2016 Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton to call for a recount in 3 swing states won by President-elect Donald Trump, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And here it is, gang. J. Alex Halderman, director of the university's Center for Computer Security and Society, and voting rights attorney John Bonifaz, believe there is evidence that the results from the aforementioned states were manipulated or hacked. Halderman found the results questionable in counties that relied on electronic voting machines instead of paper ballots or optional scanners. Shut up, you crazy conspiracy kook. Go back to 4chan. Now, you ready for this? Here's the big reveal. That same J. Alex Halderman, the one that urged Lady Macbeth to contest the results of those 3 states because those results may have been manipulated or hacked. That same J. Alex Halderman, the one that urged Lady Macbeth to contest the results of those 3 states because those results may have been manipulated or hacked. That same J. Alex Halderman is the one who wrote the latest report that's warning about hacking and manipulation in the upcoming election. Again, folks, you cannot make this stuff up. I mean, it is so transparent. It is so pathetically obvious to everyone to see. We know that in order for the lamestream media to declare that there is indeed clear and unadulterated evidence that the integrity of an election has been compromised, we now know that that supposed evidence has to be certified and legitimated by a far left-wing activist disguised as an election security expert like J. Alex Halderman. Hillary backer, far leftist activist disguised as election security expert. He will make the decision. He will determine whether your concerns about election integrity are legit. And if he dismisses such concerns, then the left-wing activists disguised as journalists in the lamestream media will enthusiastically report that there's absolutely, positively no basis, no grounds, no justification whatsoever for such spurious claims that the integrity of an election was compromised. How dare you? That, my friends, is how it works in the swamp of Washington, D.C., the swamp of the legacy media, now, as we can plainly see, the swamp of supposed election integrity overlords. Now, what we have here, what we're seeing unfold before us, the takeaway here, is what scholars call politicized knowledge. It's often referred to in the Orwellian terms right-think. The politicization of knowledge is simply the redefining of what's true and what's not true in accordance with political ends. And what we have to understand is that this means far more than just facts being acknowledged or ignored based solely off of whether they serve one's political interests. That's certainly true, but it goes much farther than that. What we have to understand is that if politicized knowledge reconstitutes facts and information around political goals, then that means that if lies serve to help to realize those political goals, then so be it. I mean, if you think it through, we actually do this geopolitically with spying and espionage, right? Where truth is often cloaked in lies, but we do that in order to protect our national interests from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's technically known as righteous lying, right? We do it all the time when we leave our houses at night, but we keep the lights on. Why do you do that? Why do you keep the lights on when you're not there at night, right? Well, you do that in order to keep bad people away from your house. You're using a form of dishonesty as a tool to deflect dishonest people away from you. And what we have to understand here is that this is precisely what CNN and MSNBC and our lamestream media as a whole are doing on a daily basis. They lie about and malign and impugn others, like a certain pillow salesman, right? While at the same time lauding, championing, and promoting people who are literally saying the same thing. The difference is the political agenda that each of them represents. The conclusions of so-called experts and the subsequent media coverage that amplifies it either legitimizes or delegitimizes based on political aims and goals. The wonderful news here is that the trustworthiness of the mainstream media, and I would add these so-called experts into the mix, has absolutely collapsed. It's literally at the lowest level it's ever been, as it ought to be. And so we can be assured that as long as we have shenanigans going on like this, that trustworthiness will continue to implode. And then maybe, finally, a very real, legitimate confidence in our elections can be restored. Before you go, gang, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on Elon Musk mocking woke corporations celebrating Pride Month. You are not going to want to miss this, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.